Hello, in this video I'm going to be going over the second setup for MMM the one with the later frame. So I assume you've watched the first setup and the Bitclips Basics tutorial before this, so here we go. The setup for the pause is the same. Pause on the 48th clock or like right after the 47th, and use the visual cue, the black dot right there when it's at the bottom of the screen. Either or. When you get the pause, you should be able to tell that you got it by looking at Kazui's feet. They should just be standing right beside each other as if Banjo was just still. This is the easiest way to tell if you got the frame. Just look at her feet. Once you got that, unpause. Now here, what we're going to do is we're going to hold Z and face straight right, just to change Banjo's angle a bit. The earliest, right there, that's the earliest you can hold Z and change right, or that's where you should when Banjo looks to his right. You don't have to wait a long time. You just have to wait for all your momentum to stop. So it's just safe to like wait till Banjo looks to his right, then hold Z, then hold straight right. So that's the coordinates and the current angle. You're gonna hold Z, hold straight right here. You can also pause and then hold right while you pause, and then unpause to make it easier, but it shouldn't be necessary. Yeah, this is what it should look like. Now here you're going to backflip right after, but you have to wait for the camera to stop changing. So you want to wait till Banjo looks to his right, then to his left, and then look back down, and then you can backflip. That's the angle. Looks to his right, left, down. So now this is where you can backflip. You can backflip now. So you're just going to tap A, then backflip straight to the left. So just hold straight left. You can do the same thing with the pause. You can press start right after you press A, then hold left while you're in the pause screen, then unpause to make it easier if you want to just hold straight left. But you don't have to do it. So you're going to do the same thing where you mash C up here. Mashing C up here does two things, but it's not the same two things as the first setup. The first thing is the same. It lets you stop in a consistent position after the backflip. And the second thing is you want to go into C up to load like the rest of the room. So usually what we did before was we faced straight down and then got into C up, then got out of C up, and that helped us to like load the room so it's not as laggy when we're doing our first twirly. But getting into C up here is easier. It's much nicer because it just helps you land your backflip. So just mash C up here and mash out of C up. Just as simple as that. You don't have to worry about the explanation if you don't understand it. So here's your coordinates and your angle. What you're going to do now is you're going to hold Z and hold straight down to switch your angle. But you have to wait for the camera to stop changing just like before. To do that, look over here. Wait for this little bump to appear. Once you see this bump appear, then that's when you know you can hold straight down on your joystick while crouching. Hold straight down. And now you're going to do a bear punch cancel. That's your angle. You're going to do a punch cancel, and to know if you got this punch cancel, you can just look at this bump and it should disappear if you got the punch cancel. Just like that. And then you should get into first person and start your first twirly. So now here, I'm going to go forward a bit. Okay, so this first twirly, you're going to hold straight right while you're getting into first person. And this is going to be one of the YOLO pauses. You're going to pause just like right after the very left parapet. So right after this goes off screen, or like right when the top goes off screen. And if you get it on your first try, then as I said before, it'll look different compared to if you got it on your second, third, or fourth try. So this is what it looks like if you got it on your first try, on your first twirly. The Jinjo's ears should almost fully be like on this gravestone. His right ear should be just to the right of the gravestone, but it should be basically as simple as that. It looks a bit different compared to if you get it the second try. This is if you get it on the second or third or fourth try, whatever. See, it looks a bit different, but it's almost the same. The Jinjo's ear should be fully in the gravestone instead, and you should be able to see a tiny bit of the like pointy thing just on the left of the screen. That's how you know if you got this if you got this twirly, if you got the pause. Once you get it, unpause. There's your coordinates. There's your angle. That's the angle is 333. Now you're going to do a punch cancel. For the punch cancels, personally, I like to look at the door, the middle line of the door, to see it flicker a bit. So you do a punch cancel. For this first one in particular, you can also look at the ground here, the stairs right under Banjo. I'll unpause. You look at it before the punch cancel. You can see there's like a little bump right here. After the punch cancel, the bump moves quite a bit all the way here. That's how you know if you got the first punch cancel. But you can also get into first person before that animation plays, before like that effect changes. So personally, I just like to use the door, and if I see it moves just a tiny bit, then I like to get into first person right away. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. So now you're going to get into first person and turn to the right. There's your coordinates after the bear punch. Go to the right here. Now here, the visual cue is somewhat the same as the visual cue for the last setup. You want to look at this blue pathway again. Right before this goes off screen, you want to pause. I find it's best to like pause right when this spot goes off screen. Like there's a little dot right here. It's kind of hard to see. There's a little dot right here in the thicker, darker spot here. Right in between it, there's a lighter spot. Right when this goes off screen, that's when I like to pause personally. But again, if it's hard to see in the moment while you're doing the twirly, then just try to pause right before this blue pathway starts to go off screen. And this is what that pause should look like. Some people like to look at this pink Jinjo's chin, see if it just barely touches this corner. I like to look at this egg right here to see if it's just barely about to touch this fence post. Not fully touching it, but not like too far away. That should be the cue. So then once you get that, you unpause, get out of first person. The angle should be 282. Now you're gonna do a punch cancel. The punch cancel, I don't have any cues with the stairs. You might be able to find one. I still personally just look at the door to see if it flickers a tiny bit. I'll do that again since I paused in the middle. I just look at the door to see if it flickers a tiny bit. It shouldn't flicker too much. See right there, it flickered a bit. You can see some of it. So now, after that, this is what your position should be, 109. Now you're going to get into first person and turn to the left here for your next twirly. Right when this pointy spot goes off screen, or right when it goes off screen, that's when you pause. And you can tell if you got the pause if the bottom of the skull feathers and like the top of this jiggy is right at the third fence post. So there's 1, 2, and then it should be on the third one or covering it. And that's how you know you got this pause. Unpause. There's your angle. It's an angle of 36. Do one punch cancel. Right there. You can see this changes a lot, the stairs here. I'll do it again. I still personally like to look at the door, but this little bump here, you can see it. It's gonna change and go all the way here after the punch cancel. I failed that first one, just so you know. So the second one I got, the bump moves all the way here. That's how you can confirm. Or you can just look at the door, which is what I do personally. This next punch, this next pause is not the easiest visual cue wise. Basically, you see how there's see this line where all the collectibles are. You want to basically know where this is. Just imagine you can see it, and then when that spot, when that line right there is like about to go over this feather over here, this feather, that's when you pause. It's like right there. And then you can tell if you got the pause if this yellow feather is touching the red feather. It's not super great of a cue, but yeah. Another cue that you could use maybe sometimes is looking over here at this fence. You see how there's like a little cross mark here? You count 3 fence posts after that, 1, 2, 3, and pause right when this goes off screen. That's another cue, but it's sort of hard to see that while you're doing the twirly. But it's a good alternative cue if you want something more visual. So you can see it here. I'm just doing it again. And then the cue, the yellow feather on the red feather. Unpause. Those are your coordinates, an angle of 90. Now you're just gonna do 3 punch cancels. Again, just try do 2 short punch cancels right away. If you can tell if you got it, that's good. But if you can't really tell if you haven't gotten it, then it's whatever, it's fine. After the first 2 punch cancels, just spam big jumps with your punch cancels until you're either certain that you failed it or until you see Banjo Shadow disappear. So after the first punch cancel, for the first punch cancel, this should flicker a lot. The door frame, or the middle black line on the door should flicker a lot. Those are the coordinates after the first one. The second one, it should flicker a tiny bit, not as much. There's the coordinates, 113. Now this is the third one. I think I failed once. Oh no, I got it. Okay, so yeah. Do a big jump, and again, beak bust at the peak of your jump, otherwise it won't work. And then just beak bust. Here, it's very important actually. Wait until you land your recoil to start holding a direction on your joystick. If you hold a direction right away while you're beak busting, you'll just pop right back out of there. So wait till you land your recoil, then roll forward a bit, and then jump. Just like that. And then that should be the setup. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you later.